the craziest Japanese billionaire in history. Masayoshi was born in 1957 to a family of Korean immigrants in Japan. He faced such discrimination that he was ashamed of his surname and decided to hide it. Growing up in poverty, like many children in similar situations, he dreamed of making millions. As a teenager, he discovered a book by Den Fujita, a prominent Japanese businessman who became a billionaire by introducing McDonald's to Japan. Masayoshi was captivated by Fujita and his entrepreneurial journey, making him his role model and determined to meet him at all costs. After months of persistence, the young man secured a 15-minute meeting with his idol, who offered him invaluable advice: learn English and study computer science. Without hesitation, at the age of just 16, he moved to California to pursue studies in electronics and computer science. Alongside one of his teachers, he created a multilingual electronic translator, selling it for $1.7 million. Masayoshi was only 19 years old at the time. Simultaneously, he began importing arcade machines from Japan to the United States, and this venture proved to be successful. Within 6 months, he earned over $1 million in profits. With his wealth, he returned to Japan and founded SoftBank, the first company in Japan to sell computer software. The year was 1981, and computing was still a niche market. Masayoshi was a true visionary, recognizing the potential he held in his grasp. By the mid-1990s, SoftBank had 800 employees and was generating $1 billion in annual revenue. But this wasn't enough for him. He always sought more. He started investing in other tech companies and became known for his daring investments, such as early stakes in Yahoo. By the late 1990s, SoftBank's primary business shifted from selling to acquiring technology companies Masayoshi believed in. In 2000, he made one of the best venture capital investments ever, investing $20 million in the newly established Chinese company Alibaba. It turned out to be the deal of the century, with his investment growing to $70 billion. Today, Alibaba, which was worth less than $1 when he invested, generated $199 billion in revenue in 2024. That same year, he invested in hundreds of internet companies and began gaining international recognition, with the New York Times dubbing him the Bill Gates of Japan. Then, in the mid-2000s, he achieved a remarkable feat by surpassing Bill Gates to become the richest man in the world. However, this status lasted only 3 days before the internet bubble burst and Masayoshi lost $70 billion, marking the largest loss ever suffered by an investor. Yet he remained undeterred. He was convinced that computers would soon be replaced by phones, leading him to contact none other than Steve Jobs. He took on $20 billion in debt to purchase Vodafone Japan with the intention of selling iPhones in his country. Steve Jobs was impressed and granted him exclusive rights to sell iPhones in Japan. But Masayoshi aimed higher, aspiring to establish a $100 billion venture capital fund. This is when Saudi Arabia emerged as a financier for the Japanese businessman's vision. In September 2016, he met Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi crown prince and current prime minister. In just 45 minutes, Masayoshi raised $45 billion or $1 billion per minute, with the remaining $55 billion invested by SoftBank. It was another monumental deal. However, in 2022, tragedy struck again. In just 8 months, his company lost $6.5 billion. In response to this setback, he didn't play it safe. Instead, he made significant investments in artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, SoftBank's main AI project, Pepper, a programmable humanoid robot, also failed. Nonetheless, Masayoshi remains a firm believer in AI, convinced that it will soon be integrated into every cell phone. At least that was the message he conveyed to his investors 3 years ago. One thing is certain: the Japanese businessman is full of innovative ideas to continually reinvent himself, as he has always done. He is now worth $34.1 billion, up from just $16 billion in 2022.